With a single heart in teaching, the master of the sect received news that Night Demon had already reported to White Cloud Martial Academy. Senior Wood Lin Yuan reminded him softly. Imprint Palace grunted and didn't seem concerned. Wood Lin Yuan said, "Master, now I think about it, Night Demon's identity? It seems like the Guardians have already suspected. If they inform White Cloud Martial Academy, then," he sighed, "originally, our action against the Su family of Bibo City was a bit rash." Rash. Imprint Palace looked at Wood Lin Yuan with an odd expression, a hint of sarcasm in his eyes. "Great Senior, do you think it was rash? You only thought of this now." Imprint Palace emphasized the words now. "Could it be?" Wood Lin Yuan was stunned. Imprint Palace closed his eyes and said faintly, "This is precisely where Night Demon's true value lies." Oh. Wood Lin Yuan was bewildered that he couldn't understand how the incident in Bibo City, which left obvious traces of the cult, would lead to Night Demon being targeted before even joining, could become valuable. Imprint Palace closed his eyes and spoke vaguely. "The test at White Cloud Martial Academy, including the competition, is something Night Demon must go through. And the other side won't make it too difficult for him. If Night Demon can't get past this hurdle, then he dies. He's just a new disciple anyway. His life or death has no value right now. Only after he gets past this will he gradually show his worth. This is a long-term plan. First, he needs the qualifications to become part of this plan. Great Senior, you're more suited for battle." Imprint Palace fell silent. Wood Lin Yuan went back to his residence and thought about it for a while, but still felt lost in confusion. That IT seemed like he understood, yet he also didn't. "Do I really only fit for fighting?" Yan Meng was diligently cleaning her new home. Currently speaking, this large courtyard with 3 sections and a big garden was occupied by only her and Fang Che. Cleaning without using her cultivation skills was quite tiring for Yan Meng, but she cleaned enthusiastically. Having lost both parents when she was 2 years old, this large courtyard was the first property Yan Meng had ever owned in her entire life. Even though the name on the deed was Fang Che's, Yan Meng still felt excited as if she were the mistress of the house. Arranging furniture, tidying up the yard, cleaning rooms, she was busy sweating profusely, but still enjoyed every moment of it. After all the delivery people left and Yan Meng finished cleaning, looking at the newly refreshed courtyard, she was entranced. Her eyes showed unspeakable affection. Home. A thought rose in Yan Meng's mind. How wonderful it would be if this were truly my home. How wonderful it would be if I were truly the mistress of this house. The image of Fang Che flashed before her eyes, and she immediately pouted in disgust. That bad guy. Then she sighed wistfully. During the time she infiltrated next to Fang Che, apart from not revealing her cultivation, it was actually the most comfortable period of her life. So, F.A. Ardeno competition, no pressure, no battles. Although Fang Che often spoke harshly to her, Yan Meng knew in her heart that this young master wasn't bad to her, that in fact, he was incredibly good. Despite having the title of an evil cult devil, he treated her well beyond measure. The heavenly pulse fruit improved her talent. Just this one thing alone made his favor immeasurable. Who else would give such precious things to outsiders, except for parents giving them to their children or masters, passing down their legacy? But Fang Che let her eat it. And those orthodox cultivation methods, various refined martial arts postures, they almost corrected everything wrong with her. Her combat strength increased more than twofold. Even now, engaging in higher-level battles was within reach, not to mention the daily cultivation pills, even in major sects and various martial academies. These things needed to be fought over. Yet Fang Che gave them to her, without hesitation. Although he usually spoke coldly and had a stern face, he genuinely cared for her. Even though he constantly threatened to sell her into prostitution, he probably didn't even know what a brothel was. Scaring people without changing tactics. Yan Meng sighed softly in her heart. She asked herself, if one day there was an order from above to kill Fang Che, could she really bring herself to do it? Thinking about this, she bit her lips tightly. Why are you an evil cult devil? Why am I just a spy? Why do we have different beliefs? Yan Meng recovered quickly from her brief vulnerability, continuing to arrange the new home. That person had a terrible temper. If he came back and saw it wasn't tidy, he'd definitely throw a tantrum. Fang Che was taken away, completely bewildered. What did I do? What happened? Why was I taken away as soon as I registered? The office building was majestic, with 4 characters inscribed, White Cloud Martial Academy. On either side was a couplet shimmering gold that IT was made by melting gold, pure. Gold gilding 10 large characters, each character measuring 2 zhang square, majestic and awe-inspiring. Upper line, embrace the heart to save the world. Lower line, understand the hardships of all beings. Signature, Yao Guang, very ordinary 2 sentences. But Fang Che suddenly stopped, staring intently at these 2 lines, feeling as if a great bell struck in his mind. For a moment, he felt dizzy and disoriented. He instinctively felt that this had something to do with him. But no matter how hard he tried to think, he couldn't figure it out. Looking at the signature Yao Guang, he couldn't move his feet, feeling a surge of blood rushing to his chest, dizziness and blurred vision. Seeing Fang Che standing motionlessly staring at the couplet, the several people accompanying him also unconsciously stopped. The white-haired old man sighed softly, his voice filled with infinite reverence. These are the couplets personally written by Master Yao Guang, the 9th Mountain Master of our White Cloud Martial Academy 520 years ago. They replaced the original exhortation couplets, leaving behind these 2 warnings for the world. To embrace the heart to save the world, to understand the hardships of all beings. These 2 sentences are truly profound. Only by embracing the world and wanting to save it can one truly understand the difficulties faced by the common people in confronting the righteous path. And because of understanding this difficulty, one strives harder to find ways to save the world. Master Yao Guang had foresight and compassion. During his tenure as the Mountain Master of White Cloud Martial Academy for 450 years, he finally resigned. Before leaving, he pointed to the couplet above and told the newly appointed Mountain Master, Master Meng He, remember these 2 sentences. The white-haired old man said with full respect. Master Meng Chuxing sat in charge of White Cloud Martial Academy, exhausting himself for the benefit of others, pouring his heart and soul into it. From then on, our White Cloud Martial Academy could truly rank among the 8 great martial academies and gradually climb to 5th place in annual rankings. And the successor, Mountain Master Meng He, is the beloved daughter of Master Meng Chuxing. She also remembered her father's teachings deeply and never changed them during her over 100 years of service. After retiring, she continued to serve as an honorary Mountain Master of our White Cloud Martial Academy. Our current flourishing state and abundance of talents are due to the efforts of the 2 Masters Meng. Everyone's faces were filled with deep respect. When the white-haired old man reached this point, they bowed deeply towards the couplet, towards the signature on it. Fang Che felt golden thunder rumbling in his mind, as if something was about to break free. Whether it was this couplet or the name Meng Chuxing or the 2 characters Yao Guang, they all caused a spiritual tremor within him, just as everyone's faces showed admiration. Ding ling ling. A clear and ethereal bell sound rang out as someone emerged from a building. It was a woman, dressed in purple robes, naturally graceful and stunning, her whole body radiating the elegance of someone who had been in a high position for a long time, naturally possessing a dignified aura. On her wrist hung a string of small bells, unknown material, emitting a soft white light. As she moved, the faint tinkling of the bells sounded like wind through bamboo groves, naturally creating celestial music. White waves crashing on sandy shores, perfectly natural. The purple-robed woman, upon seeing the respectful expressions on everyone's faces, smiled and asked, Huang Yifan, why are you all bowing here? Huang Yifan and the others neatly bowed, their faces showing nearly overflowing respect. Greetings, Lady Meng. The purple-robed woman smiled. I'm no longer the Mountain Master of White Cloud Martial Academy, merely an honorary Mountain Master. There's no need for such formalities. The spirit of Lady Meng will always support White Cloud Martial Academy. The white-haired old man said seriously and solemnly. Nonsense. The purple-robed woman clearly was the unique daughter of Master Yao Guang, the 10th Mountain Master of White Cloud Martial Academy, Lady Meng He. She gracefully descended the steps, smiling. Go about your business quickly. Several elders have summoned me, and I must hurry off. Honorable journey, Lady Meng. Lady Meng nodded and stepped forward. As she passed by Fang Che, she casually asked, "Is this year's freshman? Is this the only one who arrived early?" Huang Yifan hurriedly laughed. "Yes, so we wanted to cherish this opportunity." The purple-robed woman obviously sensed something and furrowed her brows, saying, "Be careful. Your temper is explosive. Don't act impulsively. Consult with High Mountain Master more often." Yes. Huang Yifan replied hastily. Lady Meng chuckled and said to Fang Che, "Don't be nervous, little one. Practice martial arts well in the future." Fang Che felt his consciousness slightly hazy and replied, "Yes." Lady Meng nodded and approached him, lifting her hand and pointing at the 10 characters, saying, "Little one, look closely at these 10 characters. As a martial artist, remember them forever. Learning martial arts is to protect the kindness in this world and alleviate the suffering of sentient beings." She patted Fang Che's shoulder, earnestly saying, "Embrace the heart to save the world. Understand the hardships of all beings. I hope that one day you can truly utter these 10 characters from the depths of your heart and strive for them throughout your life. This world cannot withstand upheaval." Her gentle and kind voice carried boundless spiritual power, flowing like a gentle stream, calming the turmoil in Fang Che's mind. In an instant, he felt a sense of tranquility. Strive hard. Walk the righteous path. Lady Meng patted Fang Che's shoulder once more, and Fang Che felt an indescribable comfort as if his soul had been purified. Her purple robes fluttered. Lady Meng instantly soared into the air, her slender figure flashing. In a blink, a purple speck appeared hundreds of meters away in the sky, then disappeared in another flash. Huang Yifan shook his head and laughed bitterly. Lady Meng is still as gentle and kind as ever, giving this kid a soul-cleansing strike before leaving. He knew in his heart that he found Fang Che because he received a message. This Fang Che was a spy, sent by the demon cult, specifically dispatched to infiltrate. And Lady Meng, clearly guessed this. She understood that they wouldn't really mobilize for an ordinary freshman, but she still did this. Because of her compassionate heart and educational responsibility, she couldn't bear to see any student stray onto the wrong path. So she gave Fang Che a soul-cleansing technique. No wonder countless students who graduated from White Cloud Martial Academy say that Lady Meng is the one who can save souls. Huang Yifan said with deep admiration, "In my entire life, Huang Yifan hasn't admired many people, but I sincerely admire the 2 masters, Meng, from the bottom of my heart." The others laughed. "Only you admire her?" Fang Che's mind settled down. Instinctively turning around to look, the figure of Lady Meng had already vanished without a trace. Only the delicate, clear, and heavenly bell sound seemed to continue echoing in his heart. Ding ling ling, ding ling ling.